Labor has made another bid to promote its green credentials. The Premier has visited Western Queensland to promise a wildlife corridor from the border to the beach. Here's political reporter Chris O'Brien.
On the banks of the Thomson River, some wildlife is annoying.
Yes, unfortunately flies are a very important part of ecosystems.
Labor plans to protect as much ecosystem as possible with a 2,200-kilometre green belt from Birdsville to Brisbane.
When you're home to that much biodiversity, as Queensland is, we've got a special obligation to look after it and protect it.
A re-elected ALP government would spend $15 million over the next 3 years to start acquiring land. And a review of the nature refuge system will consider more restrictions on mining and big dams.
This will be conservation on a continental scale, and there is nothing like it anywhere else in Australia.
At least one property owner agrees.
To actually have the foresight to actually protect these systems is just so important, and I'm behind it all the way.
It's the second time in less than a week that the Premier and her Environment Minister have come to a remote part of the state to talk about a green initiative, following the weekend announcement of more wild rivers on the Cape. Labor would ask the Commonwealth to contribute to the Green Corridor from its Biodiversity Fund.
The point of this is to keep this corridor forever, and people would be given financial compensation on a voluntary basis to do just that.
The Wilderness Society says voluntary conservation agreements with landholders and traditional owners will ensure good management of conservation values. But rural lobby group AgForce disagrees.
Ultimately, it appears to be a grubby green deal that's been put in place to garner votes in South East Queensland, whilst not taking into account the impacts it's going to have in rural and regional Queensland.
The Premier tonight is heading back towards the coast after her flying visit through the bush. Chris O'Brien, ABC News, Longreach.